Hey guys, it's Mei Ling, and on this course, I'm going to teach you how to read the 10K like a pro. Now, it's always amazed me that some of the free documents that exist on discovering what a company does and whether they're a good investment are often some of the most underutilized documents out there. And the 10K is probably one that, because of its length, becomes an incredibly intimidating thing for a lot of people to look at. I've been in financial services for about 20 years. I've worked at two of the top investment banks, and I've actually had to read this document quite a lot over the years. Now, I've read all 500 of the 10Ks in the S&P 500, and I'm regularly reviewing this document for various people that ask my opinion on different names. This document does have some tricks to navigating it. There are ways that you should read it, and there are definitely things that make it easier. And I'm going to go through all of that in my course. Why should you take this course? If you are an investor, if you are someone who's a long-term holder, it's really good to better understand what is it that this document is doing each year to try to communicate with you, the investor, why you should continue to be an investor and hold the name. If you are wondering why my course over other people's courses, I can't really speak to everybody else, but I will say of the ones that I reviewed, it seemed to me that most people have kind of a very basic understanding of this document. Maybe they've done one or two for a class. I've literally read all 500 of the 10Ks for the S&P 500, and I do that fairly regularly. And I also am oftentimes asked to look at investments for different companies. So, I think in a given year, I might be covering closer to 600 10Ks. Hence, when I tell you about the 10K, I have a very strong understanding of what the document should have, what it might be missing and why, and what might be the relevant and important things within the document. And I want to share all of that with you because this is free public information that is so rarely used but can mean a big difference to where you put your money. Some of you taking this course already have in mind which company you're interested in reading the 10K for. And other people, you're kind of just thinking, oh, I'd like to know how to read this document. Maybe it's something for work. Maybe you're like, no, I'm going to be a fundamental investor, so this is how I'm going to roll. In both cases, I would give the following advice when choosing the first 10K to read, or even an earlier 10K to read. What I would say is that smaller, younger companies with a very small market cap, and you can look that information up on Yahoo Finance, but companies with a market cap that are smaller in size. So here I'm talking about 800 million or below in market cap. They tend to have a much more abbreviated 10K. And as a result, from a learning perspective, I wouldn't suggest you choose that first. The challenge with using such a 10K as your learning exercise is that the smaller and smaller the company is, the worse they are at producing this document, for lack of a better way to say it. If you choose a larger, older, more established company, you will be able to see what the 10K should look like, and that will give you an ability to understand what your younger company might be missing. Now, I said older for a reason. It's some tech companies that are really, really popular, but maybe haven't been around for many, many years. They will also have what I would consider more or less a more abbreviated 10K. If we compare that to like Coke or Pepsi, when you read those 10Ks, it's as if they've been writing this literally for decades, and they have. A good case in point might be Netflix. Now, Netflix's 10K is pretty fleshed out at this point, but if you read them from even 5 years ago, which it was even, Netflix is such a household name even 5 years ago, that 10K was significantly shorter and more abbreviated than if I compare what I would anticipate out of other media companies for them to be writing. And that has nothing to do with the market cap of the company. It really has to do with the number of years that company has been in business.